Good morning and Sai Ram. How are you all? I hope you all are fine. So, in this video, we are going to start our new chapter. Chapter number 3 of chemistry, and the name of the chapter is Atoms and Molecules. We have done atoms and molecules in our previous chapter. So, at least you know that what is atoms and what is molecule. What is atom? Atom is the smallest unit of an element. Atom is a if you will break an element, what you will get? Atom. That means you cannot divide atom further. Okay, and what do you mean by molecules? Molecules are those when you will combine one or two elements, same elements together. For example, hydrogen plus hydrogen, what you will get? You will get hydrogen, H2. So these are the molecules. Is this clear to you? So in the part 1, what we are going to do, I will give the introduction which I have already given to you. Now, second one is law of chemical combination. Third one is Dalton's atomic theory. What we are going to cover? We are going to cover introduction, law of chemical combination, Dalton's atomic theory. Is this clear to you? So, let us start with the law of chemical combination. Before that, just read about the scientist Antony L. Lavoisier. So, who was he? Antony Laurent de Lavoisier was born in 26th August 1743 and he died 8 May 1974. Okay, when he was born on 26th August 1743 and he was died 8 May 1794, and he was a French nobleman. He was a French nobleman and chemist, Central Chemical Revolution, and a large influence of both the history of chemistry and the biology. Clear? Antony L. Lavoisier laid the foundation of chemical science by establishing two important laws of chemical combination. What he had invented? He invented two important laws of chemical combination. What he had invented? He had invented two important laws of chemical combination. So, basically, the two laws together is known as chemical combination. Is this clear to you? And the laws are the law of conservation of mass, law of constant proportion. What are the laws? Law of conservation of mass and law of constant proportion. Is this clear to you? Now we will study these laws in very detail. Clear? Let us start. So the first law is law of conservation of mass. Who had given this law? This law was given by Antony L. Lavoisier. And who was he? I told you earlier, he was a French scientist. And he established the theory of law of conservation of mass. Is this clear? Antony L. Lavoisier, a French scientist. Okay, he established the theory of law of conservation of mass. Now, what is a law of conservation of mass? Law of conservation of mass stated that mass can neither be created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. What it states? What is the law of conservation of mass? According to law of conservation of mass, mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Is this clear? That means whatever amount you will take for the chemical reaction, when they will react, the same amount of product will produce. Is this clear? Now listen some points and you will understand more deeply. The first point is the law of conservation of mass means that in a chemical reaction the total mass of product is equal to the total mass of a reactant. I told you that. That means whatever amount of reactant you will take. For example, if you will take 3 gram of hydrogen and 3 gram of oxygen, after reacting these two elements, whatever product you will get, this how much amount of product you will get? You will get 6 gram of product. That means whatever amount are reacting, the same amount you will get in a product. Is this clear to you? Now, since there is no change in a mass during a chemical reaction, with the above point, what conclusion you will get? You will get that since there is no change in a mass during a chemical reaction. Example, when a calcium carbonate is heated, now what is the formula of calcium carbonate? I told you earlier, it is CaCO3. Try to learn these formulas. Okay, what is the formula of calcium carbonate? It is CaCO3. Is heated, a chemical reaction take place to form a calcium oxide. When it will heat, that is CO2. Is this clear to you? What is the example I am taking? I am taking when your calcium carbonate is heated and chemical reaction take place, you will get calcium oxide and carbon dioxide as a product. Is this clear? Now, it has founded by experiment that if 100 grams of calcium carbonate, what is the formula of calcium carbonate? CaCO3. If you will take 100 gram of calcium carbonate and you will heat, what you will get? You will get CaO and CO2. How much? Calcium and decompose completely, then 56 gram of calcium oxide and 44 gram of carbon dioxide will produce. So if you will add 44 plus 56, how much gram of product you will get? You will get 100 gram of product. That means whatever amount of reactant is reacting, the same amount of product you will get. I think with this law is very clear to you. Since the total mass of product is equal to the mass during this chemical reaction, that means your mass is conserved or same. The mass remains the same or conserved. So this example supports the law of conservation of mass. Is this clear? I am reading all slides one by one. Listen very carefully. So, what is the law of conservation of mass? Law of conservation of mass is mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. Is this clear? Now, the law of conservation of mass means that in a chemical reaction, during a chemical reaction. Example, when calcium carbonate is heated, a chemical reaction take place to form calcium oxide and calcium dioxide. It has found by experiments that if 100 grams of calcium carbonate are decomposed completely, then 56 grams of calcium oxide and 44 grams of carbon dioxide are formed. Since the total mass of product is equal to the total mass of reactant, there is no change of mass during this chemical reaction. With this, we can say that the mass remains the same or conserved. So, this example supports the law of conservation of mass. I think with this, the law of conservation of mass is very clear to you. Shall we go ahead? See, these are some example. Listen, sodium carbonate reacts with ethanoic acid. Sodium carbonate reacts with ethanoic acid to form sodium ethonate, carbon dioxide and water. In experiment, 5.3 gram of sodium carbonate reacted with 6 gram of ethanoic acid to form 8.2 gram of sodium ethanoate, 2.2 gram of carbon dioxide and 0.9 gram of water. Show that this data verifies the law of conservation of mass. See, whenever you want to solve these type of numerical, what you will do, first you will write reactants and product. Is this clear to you? And reactant always come on left hand side, and product will always come on the right hand side. So in this question, what are the reactant? Sodium carbonate and ethanoic acid. Is this clear to you? What are the products? Your sodium ethanoate, carbon dioxide and water. So what is the first step when you will solve this numerical? You will write full reaction, reactant plus product. After that, second point is just write the amount of reactants and product at the bottom like this. Sodium carbonate, how much it is? It is 5.3, so write here 5.3. Ethanoic acid is 6, write here 6. 8.2, 2.2 or 0.9 like this. Okay, now first step is write the chemical reaction. Second step is write the amount. Now the third step is this, add mass of the reactants. So what are the reactants here? Mass of sodium ethanoate and mass of ethanoic acid. And the mass of sodium ethanoate is 5.3 and mass of ethanoic acid is 6. So when you will add 5.3 and 6, what you will get? You will get 11.3 gram. That means the mass of reactant is 11.3 gram. That means how much amount of reactants are there? There are 11.3 gram of reactants are present in this chemical reaction. Is this clear? After that, you will write the mass of product. Here, what are the that means your amount of reactant is equal to amount of product. That means this data verifies the law of conservation of mass. Is this clear to you? Shall we go ahead? Now, next example. Calcium carbonate decomposes on heating to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. When 10 gram of calcium carbonate is decomposed completely, then 5.6 gram of calcium oxide is formed. Calculate the mass of carbon dioxide formed. Which law of chemical combination will you use in solving this problem? See, I told you, first what you will write? You will write reaction. Here calcium carbonate means CaCO3 decomposes on heating, and you will get calcium oxide and water, carbon dioxide. You will write like this. Okay, now 10 gram, calculate the mass of carbon dioxide is formed. Exactly, CaCO3 reacts and it will give CaO plus HCO2, and we know that 10 gram of calcium carbonate we are taking. Okay, and out of 10 gram, 5.6 gram you will get as a CaO. We know that the mass of reactant is equal to mass of product. So we know that 10 gram is equal to 5.6 gram plus X. Take the CO2 amount as a X. What you will do, this 5.6 will come here and it will become negative. So the value of X is 4.4 gram. So now you have to check 6 plus 4.4, you will get 10 gram. That means mass of reactant is equal to mass of product. That means mass of reactant is equal to mass of product. So this question follows law of conservation of mass. Is this clear to you? Clear? Shall we go ahead? Now, our next law is law of constant proportion. What is our next law? Our next law is law of constant proportion. So, what it says? Law of constant proportion state that chemical compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements by mass. That means they will add always in a same proportion. This law is also known as law of definite proportion. Okay, and who invented this law? George Louis Proust gave this law. Hence, this law is also known as Proust law. Is this clear to you? I am reading this once more. Listen carefully. Law of constant proportion states that a chemical compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements by mass. This law is also known as the law of definite proportion, and this law is also known as your Proust law. Why? Because who has invented this law? Proust, George Louis Proust. Is this clear to you? Now, example. H2 plus O. Clear? So when you will always want to prepare water, so your ratio will be same. That means 1:8. Clear? You can't change the ratio. That means if you're taking 2 molecules of hydrogen, then oxygen ratio will be 16, because ratio will same. You will again get 1:8. Is this clear? You can't change ratio. That means it is not possible you are taking 2 molecules of hydrogen. Here you will take 8 molecules of oxygen. It will not prepare your water. It will prepare something else compound. Is this clear? So if you want to prepare any compound, that means the ratio of 2 or more elements will be same. They have a constant proportion. I am taking the example of water. What is the constant proportion of water? It is 1:8 by mass. Is this clear to you? Now, see. In an experiment, 1.2 gram of copper oxide was obtained from 1.03 gram of copper. In another experiment, 3.672 gram of copper oxide gave on reduction 2.938 gram of copper. You have to show that this question verifies the law of constant proportion or not. For this, what you have to do, in order to solve this problem, we have to calculate the ratio. Clear? So in the first example, 1.288 gram. Is this clear? And what is the mass of oxygen you have to find? And we know that this thing, mass of reactant is equal to mass of product. So if you will minus 1.288 from, if you will minus 1.03 from 1.288, what you will get 0.258. Okay, and now if you will find the ratio, that means mass of copper and mass of oxygen, you will get 4:1. The same procedure you will do in a second experiment. In the second experiment, you will again find the mass of oxygen. When you will get the mass of oxygen, how you will get the mass of oxygen? If you will subtract mass of copper oxide from the mass of copper from the mass of copper oxide, because your copper oxide is a product, and mass, what are the reactant over here? The reactant are copper and oxygen. Is this clear? So when you will subtract, you will get the mass of oxygen. Now mass of copper is equal to mass of oxygen, and the ratio will be same. Here also 4:1, here also 4:1. That means this question follows the law of definite constant proportion. Shall we move ahead? Here, when a 3 gram of carbon is burnt in a 8 gram of oxygen, 11 gram of carbon dioxide is produced. What mass of carbon dioxide will form when 3 gram of carbon dioxide burnt in a 50 gram of oxygen? The ratio will be same, because here, see, you are reacting 8 gram of oxygen and 3 gram 3 ratio 8. Is this clear? And when you will same mass of carbon dioxide will obtain when you will burn 3 gram of carbon dioxide and 50 gram of oxygen. Why? Because here the ratio of carbon, the amount of carbon is same. You are increasing the amount of oxygen. Out of this 50, if you will minus 8, these 42 gram of oxygen will remain unreacted. I told you that ratio should be same. Is this clear? Out of these 50 gram, only 8 gram of oxygen will react with only this 3 gram of carbon. Is this clear? Shall we go ahead? Now the next question is 0.24 gram of 2 gram of sample of compound of oxygen and boron was found by analysis to contain 0.096 gram of boron and 0.144 gram of oxygen. You have to calculate the composition of compound by mass. Is this clear? See, if you have to find the percentage, what you will do, mass of compound upon mass of compound multiplied by 100. Here, what you have to find the mass of composition. So, mass of boron upon mass of compound. Mass of boron is 0.096 and mass of compound, total compound is 0.24 multiplied by 100. You will get 40 and oxygen clear. So I think we will do delta atomic theory in next part. Clear? Thank you and Sai Ram.